Why does Mahayana reject the Nikaya Sutras? Ms. Tam Dao would like to ask. Dear Master, your Dharma talks help me understand the Dharma quite a lot. Through the lecture answering the question of Small City Nail Spa asking why Master Thong Lak told monks to leave home to become monks, the Dharma talk is it okay for lay people to practice? Your answer is very accurate. I accept with joy, because Buddha taught us to practice for ourselves. So, wherever we are, we practice there, that is the true Dharma. While I am happy, let me ask you, Mahayana has published and distributed the Nikaya Sutras. Now they are suppressing them, not allowing the Nikaya Sutras to reach their people. Why is that, Master? Reply. 1. During the time of Buddha, Buddha did not allow his teachings to be recorded, because if there are records, people will practice according to their own thoughts and fall into heresy. However, after the Buddha entered Nirvana, the Arhats felt sorry for their descendants who knew nothing about Buddhism. Before they all left this world, the Arahants gathered and compiled the Nikaya Sutras, which were over 43 thick volumes. Each person recorded the Dharma that the Buddha taught to each person, thanks to which they attained the fruit of Arhatship. Because each person recorded it separately, when concluding, each person had the same sentence. Having practiced to this point, the work has been completed, there is no more coming back and forth. The Dharma is different for each monk, but the conclusion is exactly the same. It is very clear that each monk practices his own Dharma and the Buddha does not have a sutra. Only the Nikaya Sutras were compiled by the Arahants in Pali, which is the common language. At that time, India had two languages, one called the upper class and the other called the common language. The sutras were written in the common language because most of the Arahants came from the common class. 2. Because Buddha has no sutras, the Mahayana Sutra circulating among the people are fake Buddha sutras. This sutra was fabricated by the Mahayana patriarchs out of imagination, because they had not yet attained enlightenment, but they needed the sutra to win the people's trust in them. Each patriarch established his own sect, and they gave birth to many sections. Therefore, they have many sutras and interpretations. This sutra is written in a novel style, so it is very attractive, making readers addicted to it to the point of believing it is true. Even though there are some nonsense parts, readers still believe it is true. For example, whoever does not believe in Amitabha will have their head split into 7 pieces. So, those who follow other religions and do not believe in Amitabha will have their head split into 7 pieces? How could that be possible? Or, even if one commits a sin greater than a mountain, one should recite a few lines of the Lotus Sutra. Robbing or killing, after committing a crime, is it enough to recite the Lotus Sutra to be free of sin? Clearly inciting Buddhists to commit a crime without knowing or understanding. One thing is untrustworthy, all things are hard to believe. How can we believe such incorrect passages in the sutras? The result is even more obvious. Mahayana monks who practice at first are very poor, but as they practice, they become richer and more powerful. If they practice to become rich, how can they be called monks? They are clearly prayers, begging for wealth. 3. How were the Nikaya Sutras translated into Vietnamese? The Nikaya Sutras, the Mahayana patriarchs considered them to be Hinayana Sutras and they ordered monks and nuns not to read the Nikaya Sutras. Why did they forbid monks and nuns from reading them? Because if they were allowed to read them, sooner or later they would be exposed as Mahayana Sutras, fake sutras, stolen, copied from the Nikaya Sutras, which would ruin the reputation of their patriarchs and their sect. But a strange fate brought Master Min Chao to India. He went to India to present his doctoral thesis on Buddhism and he chose the common language. Because he chose the common language Pali, he was forced to read the Nikaya Sutras to improve his linguistics. He was forced to. But he did not dare to read the Nikaya Sutras. If the Mahayana knew that he read the Nikaya Sutras, he would be punished and expelled, so, he had to read it secretly. Unexpectedly, when reading the Nikaya Sutras, Master Min Chao discovered, this is the true teaching of the Buddha. He decided to translate the Nikaya Sutras into Vietnamese. To translate the Nikaya Sutras, he had to secretly bring them back to Vietnam, because if any monk discovered them and reported them to his superiors, he would be ruined. He had to secretly translate them alone, and it took him more than 20 years to complete, causing him to become paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair. You should know that at that time, Vietnam had many people who knew the Pali language. But Master Min Chao did not dare to trust anyone, because even a small revelation would cause the great project to be destroyed immediately, and so Vietnamese Buddhist monks and nuns will never have the opportunity to know the true Dharma, to know the original teachings of the Buddha. And Master Thong Lak will not attain the fruit of Arhat. 4. Why did Mahayana print and publish the Nikaya Sutras? 1. It was because of the prestige of Venerable Tik Min Chao among the members of the Buddhist Leadership Council at that time. In terms of education, Venerable Min Chao was a doctor. Venerable Min Chao was also the president of Van Han University, the center that trained thousands of Vietnamese Buddhist doctors. In addition, Master Min Chao has many Buddhist friends across the 5 continents. At the same time, he has a profound understanding of Mahayana Buddhism, which is unmatched by anyone else. Thanks to his great prestige, Master Min Chao was able to mobilize the establishment of a committee to support the printing and distribution of the Nikaya Sutras. 2. Thanks to the Buddhist incident that occurred, there was a dispute between the government and the Unified Buddhist Church of Vietnam. The US and the Vietnamese government came to the decision to expel the Unified Buddhist Church of Vietnam from Vietnam, to operate abroad. Because of this chaos, the monks were busy competing for positions in the government leading Buddhism, so they did not care about the Nikaya Sutras. 3. Because they are not interested in the Nikaya Sutras, they share the same opinion. Even if the Nikaya Sutras are printed, they will just be put in a cupboard for display. Because no one will read and understand them. Even if they read them, they will not understand them. Therefore, they agree to print and distribute the Nikaya Sutras. 5. What happened after the Nikaya was printed and published? It is exactly as Mahayana thought. Even though the Nikaya Sutras were translated into Vietnamese, no one understood the Nikaya Sutras thoroughly. Master Min Chao understood the meaning of the words, but he could not understand the meaning of practice. Because if you want to understand the meaning of practice, you must practice according to the right Dharma. Only then, when all phenomena appear in the body and mind, can you understand the exact meaning of practice. A miracle encounter happens. While the Nikaya Sutras were being published, Master Thong Lak accidentally read them. When he read the 4 Foundations of Mindfulness Sutra, his mind was filled with excitement, making Master Thong Lak happy. He immediately embraced the 4 Foundations of Mindfulness and practiced diligently for 6 months, and attained arahantship. Thanks to his attainment of arahantship, he was able to understand and correctly interpret the original teachings of the Buddha. Thanks to that, the Nikaya Sutras became of great value and caused the Mahayana to panic. They feared that the Mahayana heresy would disappear and would no longer deceive monks, nuns, and Buddhists to make a living. 6. Master Tan Tien cited and explained, the words and the meaning of practice are worlds apart. For example, as reasoned intention literally means using reason to influence the mind. If understood exactly like that, then practice is off track. But when understood in terms of practice, the mind must know how to use the method of, as reasoned intention, as a rein to train the mind to obey my commands. Thanks to practicing the right Dharma and achieving success, Master Tan Tien explains more clearly, helping ordinary people to understand correctly. That is, use short words, remind the mind often, train the mind to gradually live in good Dharma, gradually push evil Dharma out of the mind. Too obvious, right? Only by practicing the right Dharma and attaining fruition can one understand the meaning of the Buddha's Dharma. It should be noted that, after Master Min Chao finished translating the Nikaya Sutras, he was exhausted, old and sick, so he did not have time to practice and he did not understand the meaning of practice. 7. Here, at this location, does Master Tan Tien help monks, nuns, and Buddhists recognize whether the monk preaching the Dharma has attained enlightenment? By, they must clearly explain the Dharma practice taught by the Buddha. Because that bhikkhu has practiced and attained, he must clearly explain the Dharma practice. If he explains the Dharma practice in a roundabout way, like an eel, then he has not yet attained it. It's understandable, it's absurd for a math graduate to not teach students how to solve equations. Right? Master Thong Lak clearly explained the original teachings of Buddha that no monk has been able to do for over 2,500 years. He explained the Dharma practice clearly for everyone to understand. Of the 37 Bodhipika, no other monk in the world has been able to explain it, but Master Thong Lak explained it clearly. In the whole world, no one has discovered the poisonous and harmful life of a monk in Mahayana scriptures. Only Master Thong Lak has. This is clear, Master Thong Lak has attained enlightenment. 8. Monk Nguyen Hai was too rude to Monk Thong Lak. But he was sponsored by the Lotus Library and promoted online, causing many readers to be confused and believe in him. Therefore, Master Tan Tien needs to break the superstition of the people. Master Tan Tien does not argue with ignorant people, it is useless. Regarding his style, Nguyen Hai is a monk who eats and drinks at a restaurant, which he himself wrote, and the teacher did not distort it. I sat at a restaurant and read The Way to Buddha's Land. With this cultural style, is he qualified to criticize what teacher Thong Lak taught? Next, he claimed that he had entered the fourth meditation, while Master Thong Lak had not. So, if he had entered the fourth meditation, why did he run away when people asked him how to practice to enter the fourth meditation? Meanwhile, Master Thong Lak explained clearly, entering each meditation one by one for the students to learn together. Master Tan Tien taught the practitioners more clearly and comfortably to enter meditation. That is, don't think about meditation too soon. Meditation is the final stage of a monk's life. Just focus on practicing, using rational intention, practicing slowly over a short period of time. When the mind is familiar, gradually increase the time until the 6 basic methods are mature, then we enter the holy stream. Choose a method of practice that suits your characteristics, then continuously practice that method to enter the mind, and that is it. At that time, use the right intention to command to enter and exit each meditation easily, comfortably, and peacefully. It is so clear, Master Tan Tien did not deceive anyone. He never interacted with anyone. When he has written enough, he will quietly leave. Please read Master Tan Tien's lectures carefully, he explains the practice clearly and in detail. 9. After Mahayana published the books of Master Thong Lak and the Nikaya Sutras, now they see danger coming to them. Once the righteous Dharma shines, the evil Dharma must disappear. Therefore, they stubbornly violate the freedom of belief that is being practiced all over the world. They had to cut and trim the scriptures of Master Thong Lak to make them lose their meaning and suppress them, not allowing the Nikaya scriptures to appear to the common people anymore. So that gradually, the true Dharma would die out in this world. Can the Mahayana heresy carry out its tricks? The monks, nuns, and Buddhists who have realized the true Dharma can answer that. Note 1. When Master Thong Lak left this world, many Buddhists asked to print more, called reprints, but Mahayana cut Master Thong Lak's scriptures in an attempt to make them meaningless. 2. Many Buddhists in northern Vietnam have just complained, why does Vietnam already have Nikaya Sutras in Vietnamese, but the Buddhist Church only allows the publication of Nikaya Sutras in Chinese? How can they understand this? 3. Currently, the Nikaya Sutras in Vietnamese and Mahayana are no longer allowed to be printed. 4. Buddhists who want to have Nikaya Sutras and scriptures that Master Thong Lak passed down to their descendants, please go to nguyentuichanu.net now to copy. Otherwise, I am afraid that when the management board of nguyentuichanu.net passes away, the successors may be attacked by Mahayana, changed according to Mahayana instructions, which will be dangerous for your descendants. Evidence: Mahayana has controlled Chan Nu Monastery.